Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Jamie, and I will be your tour guide for this journey into exploring the breathing body. And for me, this is work that's very close and dear to my heart, work that I've been teaching for over 20 years, because fundamentally, as a somatic movement therapist, my orientation is towards how nature designs our bodies and how we can collaborate with our nature to find more satisfaction, more ease, more liveliness. And the fundamental movement of our body is breath. If you think about it this way, we enter this planet with our first breath, and we leave this planet with our last breath. In fact, right now, as you are witnessing me, to take a moment to just breathe in through your nose and just give a little release with your exhale. So just an easy little inhale and an exhale. I refer to that specific breath as the pressure cooker breath, to take off a little pressure off the chest. Because if you think of the popular expression, I have something that I need to get off my chest, sometimes we don't even know until we take that exhale what is building up inside of us. So the breath is not only an automatic process that guides our life, but it's also something that we can collaborate with. We can expand, we can shorten, we can deepen, we can bring ourselves forward with our breath, sit back with our breath. So it's one of the major ways that we are able to self-regulate ourselves. So self-regulation, it's the big thing that everybody's talking about these days. What exactly does that mean? Self-regulation, from my perspective, is simply coming back to ourselves in a way where we feel safe, comfortable, at ease. And that we are able, from that place, from that center in our body and our psyche, to move into action that we need to take, to back off, so to basically have the flexibility and fluidity to move in any direction that we need. So breath is the first place where we're able to charge up our system and settle it down. And so the practice I'm going to invite you to join me with today is what I call 360-degree belly breathing. One of the things I've realized over time working with the human organism, the human body, the animal body, is if you first of all remember or look at infants and notice the way a baby breathes. A baby breathes with fullness. Sometimes you can see the movement of the breath in their feet. So breath as an integrated action that is 360 degrees above and below, centered, that first movement is what I like to think of as original grace. And of course, as that baby grows up, as we all grow up, and we are interacting with the conditions of culture, our personal history, our personal traumas, our personal breakthroughs, all of this begins to reform our bodies. You can think of our bodies being like bonsai trees that are shaped little by little by our experience. So the breath has embedded within it a certain pattern that reflects our history. And there's nothing intrinsically wrong with that. But because it's an automatic habit, sometimes we're not aware of the ways that we can expand on it, collaborate with it. So 360-degree breathing is an inquiry into how can I experience my frontal breath, my side breath, my back breath, all 360 degrees of my breath to generate more space and ease in my body. So in this inquiry today, this is very much self-directed. I'm going to give you some ideas to play with. And then, we'll have this experience, and then we'll get together at the end to check in with any questions you might have or any reflections on your experience. So I really want to highlight this is a self-inquiry on a pathway that I'm offering you. But of course, if you need to drop off the path, come back to the path, maybe something else catches your attention, to feel free to be the director of your own journey. I'm just kind of like the tour bus operator who's pointing things out along the way, and I hope that you find something that has heart and meaning for you in this journey. So, let's move into practice. As you close your eyes and draw your attention inwards, to take a moment to orient within. Notice how you are in the structure of your body. And I like to think of this very much like the Goldilocks method, the old story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Is the porridge too hot? Is it too cold? Is it just right? And we discover what's just right for us by doing a little bit of an experiment. So as you notice your structure right now, your body sitting, make any adjustment that gives you more comfort and is comfortable. So is it leaning back a little bit, leaning a bit forward, bringing your feet closer together or a little further apart? What happens when you shift to one side or the other? Because very often your body knows where to go when you begin to activate it through movement. And finding that place of center. Where is center? Bringing your attention to your sits bones, the part of your pelvis, your buttocks that makes contact with the chair. And letting your attention rest in that point of contact. And now, because the major mechanism of our breath is our central diaphragm, take your hands and place them anywhere you like on your belly, upper, middle, or lower belly, so you can feel the movement of the belly. And the movement of your belly happens because as you inhale through the nose, your diaphragm descends, puts pressure on the belly, so the belly has to go somewhere, and very often it blossoms forwards. And as you exhale, diaphragm releases, floats back up towards the heart as your belly settles. So it's a very small movement. And by placing your hands on your belly, it's like having a magnifying glass that amplifies that little bit of movement. Inhaling through the nose, diaphragm descends. Belly swells and blossoms into your hands. Exhale, diaphragm releases, belly settles. Inhale, diaphragm moves down towards the sits bones. Belly swells, blossoms. Exhale, diaphragm releases, belly settles. And because our breathing process is so unique and individual, you might notice at times, oh, I just want to softly open my eyes. This might be too much sensation for me. Sometimes orienting ourselves in our environment and then going back in. So letting your attention come and go at will. And once you settle into this awareness, belly advancing, blossoming into the hands on the inhale, belly receding and settling on the exhale. To see what happens if you lengthen your inhale a tiny bit, which will, of course, increase the movement of your belly. So noticing how long your inhale can last, comfortably, easily, just pushing the envelope a tiny bit. And then releasing the diaphragm, releasing the exhale. And returning to ordinary automatic breathing. over and over as a place to rest. So you play a little bit with what's possible, and then you return to what's known. And then shifting our attention to the exhale. And opening your lips just a tiny little bit in a small O shape. And express the breath outwards through that tiny opening of the lips with just a very soft sound. I like to call it wind through the trees. So you slowly release a long extended exhale for 1 or 2 breaths, and then return to automatic, ordinary breathing. Sometimes after that long extended exhale, there might be a quick inhale or a slow inhale. And then taking a pause. And in this pause, noticing your inner tone right now. How do you experience yourself from the inside out? How does your structure feel to you? Meanwhile, the breath goes on, blossoming and settling, blossoming and settling. That little movement of the belly, supported by your hands, sending a signal to the brain. Here I am. Here I am in my breathing center. So the hands, besides being like a magnifying glass, so that you can really sense and feel subtle movement, the hands are also a place of support and comfort. So right now, as you bring your attention into your belly, to notice if your belly feels a little more released or perhaps softer. There's that expression about spilling our guts, which simply means sometimes letting go of the control enough to really feel, perhaps express what's alive in us. So noticing the general tone of your belly brain. And then very easily slide your hands around to the back of your belly. Either the palms of your hands making contact or the backs of your hands, whatever feels more comfortable to you. Inhaling through the nose, the diaphragm descends, putting pressure on the belly. And this time bringing attention to how there's that little bit of movement that is in the back of the belly. Diaphragm pressing down on the inhale, generating a little movement in the back of the belly, a little swelling, a little expanding, perhaps a little rising or deepening. And then taking the pressure off on the exhale, letting the back of the belly settle. Inhale, pressure. Exhale, release. Inhale, widening the back of the belly. Exhale, settling the back of the belly. Ordinary automatic breathing. Sometimes extending the inhale or extending the exhale. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the nose or the mouth. Hands witnessing, supporting, bringing awareness to the back of the belly. bringing as much gentle focus to this area as you wish, and also giving yourself the possibility of simply letting your attention wander. Because naturally the breath will carry on, do its thing. So dipping into the stream of sensation, memory, thought, feeling, image. And whenever you like, bringing your attention back to the movement of the back of the belly on the inhale-exhale cycle. Then when you're ready, take one of your hands and put it on the front of your belly. So the belly now is contained, has the boundaries of the hands in the front and the back. Noticing the movement in between your hands with each inhale-exhale cycle. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the nose or the mouth. Quick release exhales at time if you wish. Long extended wind through the trees. Ordinary breath, automatic breath. And now release your hands, letting them come to rest in your lap. And once again, with your attention, noticing the inner tone of your belly. Maybe it's lighter, maybe it's denser. Maybe it's more well-defined or more amorphous. Maybe your belly feels strong or vulnerable. And then spreading your attention out from your belly. So from your belly center, maybe down through your pelvis and your legs all the way into the ground. Or let your attention move up through your structure, all the way up through your chest, into your neck and skull. And notice what's spreading out your attention from your belly does to your inner tone of your whole structure, what it does to the quality of your breath. And then bringing your hands to the sides of your belly, letting the heel of your hand rest on its side, the top of your pelvis, on what we sometimes call the love handles. And highlighting with your attention, noticing with your attention how the belly also widens on the inhale and then settles on the exhale. Widening, narrowing. And you might notice as you take an extended inhale how not only does the movement of the diaphragm on the belly create that downward movement, but there's also a movement up through your rib case as the lungs fill up. Sometimes you have all the time in the world that you need to exhale. And then letting your hands be wherever you'd like them to be, as with your attention and action, you combine the forward movement of your belly, the sidewards movement of your belly, and the movement in the back simultaneously. So expanding out from the center on the inhale to the front, the back, and the sides. And then the settling back in center on the exhale. It's like the movement of water on the shore. Comes in, goes out, comes in, goes out. Long inhale, long exhale, short exhale. Wind through the trees. Belly expanding outwards to the front, the sides, and the back on the inhale. Settling in center on the exhale. So I'd like to invite you now to either linger with your breath in your inner landscape, or begin to let your breath move your body. So as you breathe, you can let your spine begin to move, perhaps like seaweed in the ocean. Or you can experiment with perception. You can open your eyes in a downward gaze to look straight ahead or to look upwards. So in this next little bit of time, eyes open or eyes closed, being with your breathing body however you wish. And I'm going to put on just a brief video on the screen so you can bring your attention outwards and just be in your breathing body as you take in this visual stimulus from the world.